country, we have an expression when somebody says something that is out of place or something that has nothing to do with anything. We can say, saliste con un domingo siete. You came out with a Sunday 7. That's a strange expression, isn't it? Okay, that expression has a story, and it's a story that I'm going to tell you right now. A long time ago, there were two neighbors. One that was very, very rich, and the other one that was very, very poor, of course. The one that was rich was so greedy, was so selfish, that he wouldn't even lend you a little bit of salt for a hard-boiled egg. Not even that. And the one that was poor was so poor that he didn't have enough food to feed his children, and he had many, many children. So he was very worried. But during those days, the wind had been blowing very strong and hard. And you know, when the wind blows like this, that you can see the leaves flying around, and you see the papers flying around, and the plastic bags flying around, and your neighbor's underwear flying around. But also, you notice that sometimes the wind is so strong that the branches of the trees fall down. We've seen that quite often here in Buenos Aires, haven't we? Well, this had been happening when this story took place. So this poor man, he had an idea. He decided to go to the forest to gather some wood, and in this way he would have something to exchange uptown for food. He got really enthusiastic because there were many branches. Oh, yes, this is going to be really good for... Here, there's another one. Yeah. There's another one too. Yes, this is good. Yeah, here is another one too. And like this, he made a huge pile of wood. But was he able to take this huge pile of wood back home? No, it was going to be too heavy. It was going to take him many, many trips back and forth. But the thing was that he got so enthusiastic gathering the wood that he didn't notice that the sun was setting down and that he was going to have to spend the night right there at the forest. He looked and he was able to find a tree that had a huge trunk with some huge branches, and there he said, "Oh, okay. Oh, I'm so tired. Oh, and my back hurts from gathering the wood. Oh, but I'm not going to sleep, no. Oh no, if not, the mosquitoes are going to eat me up alive. Oh." But he fell sound asleep. Do you think that he had a good night? No. At the beginning, it was like the normal sounds of the night. Nice sounds of different animals, frogs, toads. And the branches of the trees move sweetly by the wind. But then, around 12 o'clock at night, he started hearing some steps. And along with those steps, he started listening to some music tune. Somebody's coming. Who could be? at this time, at this place. And then he heard, yeah! Oh, there's somebody here beneath the tree, but I don't want to see. When he looked, you won't believe what was there. What do you imagine that was there? A witch? I wish it was just a witch. But in that tree, a salamanca took place. And a salamanca is a witches' reunion. So there were thousands and hundreds of witches with long pointy noses. And at the end, they got petrified boogers, and then they had long pointy chins with hair sticking out like wires, and their hair all was sticking up, and cockroaches and spiders were coming in and out, and they had the face full of warts and one long green tooth that they show every time that But the worst part of it all is that these witches were all the time repeating a song that I am going to teach you now. The first part was like this. Lunes, martes, miércoles, tres, which means Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, three. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, three. See if you can repeat that.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, three. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, three.
But not with these nice voices that you got. It was horrible, very, very shrieky voices. The second part went like this. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, three. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, three. I want to hear those voices.
Monday, Tuesday,
that's better.
Wednesday, three. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, three.
The third part went Monday, Tuesday, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, always the same song. It never changed. It never ended. It was the same thing over and over again. And imagine the man up on the tree. He thought that his head was going to explode from listening to these shrieking, disgusting voices over and over again. And 1 hour passed, and the witches kept on with the...
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, three.
And 2 hours passed, and the witches continue with the...
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
And 3 hours passed, and the witches kept on going with the... And the man up there, he said, oh, I can't stand them any longer. My head is going to explode. What I am going to do? But when the witches sang,
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, three.
without thinking, he said, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 6. Eh? Who sang that? Who sang that? Oh, why didn't I keep quiet? Who told me to open my mouth? Why didn't I keep my mouth shut? Now the witches are going to find me, and they're going to put me inside the soup, and they're going to eat me up alive. Oh no. There it is! Bring him down, up on the tree, bring him down. When they brought that man down, the man said, please don't do anything. I have little children, please don't eat me up, don't put me inside the soup. But the witches surrounded him, and they started to say, you are incredible, you are wonderful, you are marvelous, you are an artist, a musician. We have been singing this copla for 4,500 years, and we were never able to finish it up. You are a genius. So then they gathered all types of instruments, quena, charango, bombo, and they started to sing that copla all together. Are you ready? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 6. I can hear you. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3. And before the first rays of sun came out, one of the witches took a long branch that it was a magic wand, and she went, and all the witches disappeared. And the man stood there with his head oh, my head. Oh, it's so heavy. It's probably from listening to those tiny, disgusting voices. I got something up here. What is it? He had a huge, heavy load on top of his head up, and when he opened the bag, you won't believe that what was there. What do you imagine that was there? Gold. What else? Jewels, silver, precious stones, diamonds. The man closed that bag, he put it back on top of his head, and he went home feeling rich. But he didn't feel rich for the gold, or the silver, or the jewels, or the precious stones. He felt rich. You know why?
Because he had helped the witches?
Not exactly. Because now his kids would never go hungry again. And that, to him, was the most important fortune that he could have. But somebody saw him arriving with that bag full of treasures. Who? The rich neighbor, that even though he had all what he needed and more, he was never satisfied, and he always wanted more and more and more and more. So he asked the man how he got that treasure. And our man told him about the wood, about the tree, about the forest, about the witches, and about the song. And that night, that same night, that rich man went looking for that same tree, looking around. There. No. That one has a very thin trunk. He said he had a very thick trunk. There, maybe. No. No, that doesn't have enough leaves. There, that's the tree. And he saw that tree that had a very, 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 very huge trunk and very wide branches, and some branches as wide as a bed. And he climbed up there, but he said, but I'm not going to fall asleep, no. I'm going to stay wide awake, thinking what I am going to get when I get all my presents. Let's see. I can buy a new car. No, maybe a boat. Or a plane. Why not a plane? And I'm going to buy a house. No, better a mansion. No, I can buy a palace. And he was thinking all this while time was passing by. And then at 12 o'clock, midnight, steps approaching. And then he was able to hear some music. And then he heard, yeah! And of course, the witches singing their whole song. Are you ready? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 6. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 6, and Sunday, 7. Eh? Who sang that? Who sang that? It's me, up here. I want my presents now. Climb down the tree, and we are going to give you all the presents that you deserve. Yeah. When that man climbed down the tree, those witches surrounded him, and they started to say, "You, what do you think? That's horrible. That has nothing to do disaster, it's totally out of place. And before the first rays of sun came out, one of the witches took a long branch that was a magic one, and she went, "Kalabachim, bachum!" And poof, all the witches disappeared. And the man was there with his head very heavy. Ow, ouch, ouch. Yes, yes, I probably have a bag full of jewels and precious stones, but there's nothing here. But my head is heavy. What have I got? What have I got? Horns. That man had 2 huge horns. Horns that he had to carry for the rest of his life, for being so selfish, so greedy, so envious, and all that. And from that day on, when somebody says something that is out of place, something that has nothing to do with anything, we can still say, "You came out with a Sunday 7." And that's the end of the story.